All right. Hey, hi everyone. Hi. Welcome to day two of your SQL bootcamp. Let's wait for few more minutes. Let everyone join in for today's session. Welcome back to all of you for day two of your bootcamp. I hope you had a lovely session yesterday. You would have learned something new, and now you're back today. So I'm actually here to announce or to remind you about the rewarding thing which we are conducting currently. So I hope you all remember I have told you yesterday as well that you have to uh, post about everyday session on your LinkedIn and you have to tag Let's Upgrade, right? So I have you have already done it for yesterday's session. I'm here to remind you for you that you have to do the same activity for today's session as well. Good evening, Roshan. All right, let's have some chat in the let's have some chat in the chat. Everyone, please put hi. If you can just see me, say hi. Um, all right, yes, ma'am. We learned in deep explanation. Great. So if you have learned something new, you have made some project. All you have to do it. You have to go to your LinkedIn. If you don't have a LinkedIn account, you have to make an account. You have to post about your session on LinkedIn, and you have to tag Let's Upgrade, right? By doing this, there will be two things. We would get to know that you are understanding whatever we are trying to teach. Second thing will be that you will be becoming eligible for getting a reward, right? And the winner will be announced on Monday. So I hope everyone does remember that, and everyone will be doing this activity, everyone will be participating in that. Apart from that, make sure you're you know building the project alongside with sir. That what I have mentioned you yesterday as well, that you don't only have to see and watch it on your mobile. You have to take out your laptop and you have to code it or make the project along with your trainer, and uh, uh, so that you can gain some hands-on experience. All right, so that's all from my side for today. If you're posting about today's session, if there is making something making you learn something new today, post it on LinkedIn and tag Let's Upgrade. Don't forget uh, to do this activity. All right, now let me call your trainer on the stage, right? So thank you. Hello sir,
Hello,
you can
good
continue with the
evening.
today's session.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you so much guys. Bye bye.
So, good evening, everyone. I hope everyone's doing good. Good evening. Okay, not much in attendance as of today. Let's wait for a minute and we'll start. You can see that today's topics in chat. We'll be talking about create, read, update, delete, the basics of database, CRUD, how we know it. We'll be talking about alter statements. We'll be talking about joins, inner join, left join, those things. Today will be a whole practical session, no theory. Theory was only limited to yesterday's session. We'll be having practicals today. Good evening. Good evening. Gaurav, Prafulla and Rahman, how are you guys doing? Guys, let me know if you can see the workbench on my screen. Push my SQL code on GitHub. Yes, we can do that, Divyansh. You can push almost anything to GitHub. I'll let you know how. Okay, Jitendra, I'll take this question when I come to joins. Don't worry. Okay, so Divyansh Singh had a question: how can we push our MySQL code on GitHub? Well, for that, you first have to export your MySQL code as a SQL file. Export your queries, that is, as a SQL file. You can very easily do that by clicking on this floppy disk icon, which says save the script to a file. When you do that, it will simply open a pop-up box, open a dialog box, and let you say whatever there is on this screen in a SQL file. You can very easily push it to GitHub or GitLab or wherever you want. Oh, I see a familiar name. Hey, DN. Good to have you here again. Okay, I think we can start. So yesterday we did the installation of this tool Workbench and MySQL Server. We did both of them together, and we wrote some very basic queries, which you can see on your screen. We created the database and also created a table says table can't be created, but there is no error. What is creating, but tables are not able to create. Megan, I do where it says cannot create table, there is always an error message ahead of that. You need to paste that error message in the chat. Please do that. Yesterday I created a table students. Today I'm going to create two more tables. If you can already see them in the left hand panel, I'll be creating a table courses and enrollments. Don't worry, I'll create them right now along with you guys as well. I just wanted to show you what tables we would create. Courses will have these columns and enrollment will have these columns. Don't worry, we'll create them live in this course only. All right, let me delete these tables and create them again. Doing that, you can also see how actually tables are deleted, or as we say in SQL, dropped. Drop table. So I want to delete the table courses, so drop table courses and drop table enrollments. I'm selecting both the lines and clicking on the first lightning icon. This will execute both the queries simultaneously. Okay, drop table cannot. Oh, foreign key constraint. Okay, movements not foreign. Okay, let me do this then. Okay, so I've deleted the enrollment tables. Now I will be able to delete the courses. I'll tell you why this happened. Oh, fantastic. We only now have students table as we did in the yesterday's class. Meghna, the error is right there. What you have pasted, the solution is right there. What you need to do is you need in the left panel, you need to click on schemas. You need to double click on the database. In my case, it is CMS, so you need to double click on that and then run your query. I told this yesterday as well. So as you can see, drop table courses or drop table name will drop the table. You can also, if you want for some reason, do a drop database as well. If you wanted to delete any database, so drop database name will drop a database or delete a database. I don't know what to answer to your question, Sri. The answer to your question lies right in front of you. So I want to create another table for courses. Hello, okay. Create table courses. In all the tables, we have a primary key which we generally name as ID. So course ID. It will always be an integer. Now, lowercase, uppercase does not matter. Good evening, Ganesh. It will always be auto increment if you remember auto increment from yesterday, and it will always be a primary key. Now, we didn't discuss primary key in the yesterday's session. Let's do that today. A primary key. All the tables in SQL have one primary key, one field or column defined as a primary key. First things first, you cannot have two primary keys in a single table. That is simply not allowed. Primary key is the what you can say a single source of information, a single identifier for that particular table. So, for any data which you want from courses, you can identify that, you can pinpoint that data with the help of the primary key course ID. If you want if you want details about the course, about any particular course from this table, you can do that with the help of this course ID. If you want to update some data, you can do that with the help of course ID. If you want to delete some data from this table, you will do that. You can do that with the help of this course ID. This primary key course ID is the single source of truth. It is always an integer, and it is auto increment. That is, we manually do not provide the value for this. It is automatically generated and incremented for the next record. So right now, courses table does not have any data. When we'll create the first data, when we'll insert information about the first course, the course ID will be 1 and 2 for the next course. So that I can create it with you, Chandru. Course ID int auto increment primary key, as you can see from the yesterday's session. Now, uppercase, lowercase, we discussed this yesterday, won't matter, won't affect. You can have it in uppercase, you can have it in lowercase. Name, of course, will have alphabets and spaces and maybe some special characters. So where you can give it a limit of, let's say, 100 words or 100 characters rather. No two courses can have the same name, so unique key. And let's also have not null. You cannot leave a course name null. You cannot have null as the course name. So we have the ID, we have the name. Let's also store the trainer or the teacher or the instructor name, whatever you want to call it. Let's say teacher, who teaches this particular course. SQL, for SQL, it will be my name, right? This will also be varchar, and I think we can have 100 in it. Don't put unique. One trainer, one teacher can teach two courses, so we will not put unique in here. This will create the course table. Let me write another query here. Enrollments simply means admissions. Let's create a table for admissions or enrollments, whatever you want to call it. The same deal. A new data type today, guys. Date. Yesterday we only saw integers and characters. Integers or characters in general. Sure, Dinesh. Apart from integers and varchars, today we are seeing date. No, no need to mention what will come inside. Date. Okay, let's take a quick 60 seconds break. Then we'll be back again. Okay, guys. So we have a question. What if courses has the same name? Well, if you think your courses could have same name, Sri Gupta, in that case, you need not have this unique. Now, that is something that is a engineering decision that you had to take, a business decision. Sorry, that any business, any software needs to take. If you think courses can have unique values, courses can have identical names, don't use the unique word. If you think that is not going to happen, feel free to use the unique keyword. Let's not use unique for this one. So what I have done so far here, so I've created a table courses, or should I say I've just written the code, I haven't executed it yet, so there is no courses table. Also, I have written the code for table enrollments. Enrollment has an enrollment ID which is a primary key, student ID. Student ID will be coming from this. Okay. Okay. We have ID. We have the field name as ID, not student ID. So let me do this. Or rather, I want the field name in enrollments as student ID. This name, guys, understand what I'm doing here. Avnish, the answer to your question lies in your question itself. We use drop table to drop tables or delete tables. If I'm writing student ID here, By convention means that the student table will have a field by the same name, but in the table I have ID and not student ID. Course ID is this one only, right? Enrollment date, when the student enrolls, that date is the enrollment date. Let me introduce you to a very beautiful concept of foreign keys in SQL, that is connecting two or more than two tables together so that they can share data among them. As I mentioned that when I write student ID in enrollments, what I'm trying to say here is that this field, the information in this field will be coming from this table. That is, if let's say in enrollments table under student ID, if I have, let's say, a number 10, a number 10, then that number 10 will correspond to the student having ID 10. Point is, a number in enrollments table under student ID has to have the same number in the student table as well. Point is, it should not happen like this, that in enrollments under student ID I have a number say 99, but that 99 does not appear under students table. मतलब एनरोलमेंट्स में 99 है, बट 99 नंबर का स्टूडेंट ही नहीं है हमारे पास, फॉर दोस हु हैव एन इंग्लिश बैरियर. दिस शुड नॉट हैपन. Well, first of all, Bezos, you only need one question mark to ask a question, and secondly, you need practice. You have watched tutorials. I believe you fell into tutorial hell. What you need is actual writing of SQL queries. So I would suggest, along with me, write these SQL queries in your workbench or whatever tool you are using. For to make what I'm saying actually happen, we need to have some linking between the student and the enrollment table, so that if under student ID in enrollments I have a number say 99, that should definitely mean that I have a student with the student ID 99. It should not happen that enrollments में number है A, but that number doesn't appear or maybe is deleted from the students table. If a student is deleted from the students table, that should be deleted from enrollments or vice versa. For this thing to happen, you need to have a connection, a linking between enrollments and students. Well, this linking is done with the help of foreign keys. I have a question that if I create two databases, then how will they show in same schema? Sarthak, if you can see on my screen, I actually have two databases. One is CMS and one is SIS. Doesn't matter that SIS is system defined; it is already there. But two databases. You can have n number of databases here. There is absolutely no problem. No, they are not a subset of students, Divyansh. It simply means that they are linked to students. They are not subsets. They are linked to students. Student ID in enrollment can only have that data which is already present in students. I'm only talking about the student ID field in enrollments. If you do not have an ID, let's say 100 ID by the number 100 in students, then you should not have 100 under student ID in enrollments table. That is what I mean by the linking. And same is true for course ID and courses table. If you have a course by the ID 2 in courses, then only you can have that course ID2 in enrollments table. This is the linking that we want to create, and this is done with the help of foreign keys. Okay, I'm going a little bit off topic just to answer Sarthak's question. How can we see two databases? I don't know, Sarthak, if you can see my screen or not, but there you go. You have two databases in schemas. Because I do not want this database, I'm also dropping it simultaneously. Can enrollment have duplicate IDs? Abhishek, enrollment table has 3 IDs. Enrollment ID, since it's a primary key, no duplicates allowed in this. As for student ID and course ID, well, the answer for them is also no. Why? I will be linking student ID in enrollments to this ID, and I will be linking course ID in enrollment to this course ID. And what they are linking to are primary keys. So, and primary key, as I just told you, cannot be duplicate. So neither of the IDs in enrollment table will be duplicated. When we start the enrollment ID with some like why will be the question to you, MPL. So I want that schema should select two database in same schema. That cannot happen, sir. Okay, I'm getting this feeling that some of you still not are clear on the foreign key concept. Let me create it once. I will show you when I'll try to insert or delete something. Data in these tables, you will see the linking. Let me write it. Just see and note and write what I'm writing here. Foreign key. Caps, no caps, does not matter. Student ID. It references student ID from students table. So table name, that is students. Students or student members. Students. This is the table name, and this will be the column name student underscore ID. Now what I have written on line 25 is this. I am saying that this field in the enrollments table, which is on line 22, this is a foreign key. That is, it simply means this will be linked to a field in some other table. That's hence the name foreign. Student ID will serve as a foreign key. It will reference or which field in which table it will be linked to. It will reference. It will take connection. It will take data from this column in this table. So the meaning is that we delete the data from one table and data is related to another table. So that will delete the data from one table, it is also related from another table. Gaurav Sharma, yes, you are about 70 to 80% correct. Although when we link two tables, when we use the foreign key concept, it is up to us whether we want that when we delete data from one table, should it be deleted from the other, whether we want this, or we can simply say to the user, because these data are linked, you cannot delete single one of them, you have to delete both. You can just say this. It's up to us when we are designing database how we want it. Cascade. Huh. Okay. The word is cascade. I've written a word here called cascade. Cascade simply means, but there is no student ID. That I'm going to create, Divyansh. I know that I'm going to create. By creating that, I will also show you the alter table statement. I know. Don't worry. Thank you so much. So, Gaurav Sharma. Cascade, this is the default behavior. Cascade क्या बोलेगा? What will cascade tell is, if you try to delete data in one, the other data will also be deleted. That is what cascade will tell. I'm not writing it right now. I'm not trying to confuse this for you, but this is what will happen in our case right now. Exactly, Bezos. Primary key is a foreign key for some other table. Yes. Let me copy this line and let me uh, write it here. Why? Now I'm saying the course ID field in this table will, okay, comma, you see, yeah, will serve as a foreign key, and it will take references from courses tables. What? Course ID. Now we have query for course creating course table, we have query for creating enrollments table, and enrollments is linking to both students and courses table, right? Sorry, guys. However, we don't have a student ID field in the students table. We right now only have it as ID. So let's go up. Before executing both these queries, deleting in only one table will make data integrity problem. Uh, if that is a question, Praful, yes, it will. Sir, what if we drop one table, one tablet, one table? Yes, Chandru, we can do that. Right now, it is not in our scope, but just to answer the question, we can do that. I want to make this ID, I want to rename this ID column into student underscore ID. That is, I'm trying to change the structure or schema of this table. Right? That can be done with the help of alter statements. So, alter table. Alter can do three things. It can add something, it can delete something, or it can modify something. What I'm doing is I'm using the delete keyword or the delete property from alter. It is done with the help of drop. You just saw drop while deleting the databases and table. So alter table. Oh, sorry, my bad. Alter table. We need to tell us which table. Alter table students. Then what to do? We need to drop or let's do modify. Then that will work. Modify. Modify what? Modify the ID. Modify the ID. Let's write from another. Student ID. Every else other property will remain the same. Primary key. Auto increment. somehow mistaking this. Okay, okay, let's try this approach. It's all right. I'm saying is drop this ID field altogether. Drop this ID field altogether, and in place of this, add a student ID. All the other properties remain the same. As you can see, integer, primary key, auto increment, they are the same from the above. All I have changed is the name. So what will happen? It will delete the ID column, and in place of that, it will have student ID. Let me select it because I only want to run this. I just mentioned which page I will do in and also which page. Well, Bezos, instead of doing all this, why don't you focus on what we are doing here? That will be in much interest of everyone. So alter table, let me execute this statement. Only this statement, that is. Okay, can't drop ID, check that column key exists. Check that column key exists. Well, it exists. Okay, let me refresh it once. Oh, looks like I already did it before the class. Okay, so don't worry, don't worry. What happened was I already did it before the class. It was already student ID. So this is the statement how we can change the name if we want to. We can use alter statements. Why can't we modify ID? Chandru, I'm just forgetting the syntax. We can Google the syntax and use modify as well. I'm absolutely not ashamed. I also forget syntax. I just forgot the syntax for modify. So let's use drop. So now we do have student ID, as you can see in the left panel. Let's scroll down. Let us now create these two tables, courses and enrollment having links to both the other tables. As you can see here below, tables are created. You can also refresh and see we now have enrollments and courses tables. If I open courses, you will see it has course ID, course name, and teacher. If I open enrollments, you can see enrollment name. Okay, it's still fetching. Okay, no problem. What we have done, we have created three tables now. We have created three tables now. What exactly do you want me to explain again, Sadak? Please tell me exactly what you want me to explain again. Well, we have three tables, but we have three empty tables. We don't have any data in any of them. Not for long. Let's try and insert some data. On line 13, I said I want to change the structure of students table because I don't want to change the data. I want to change the structure, so we use alter. When we want to change the data, we use the update statement, but to change the structure, we use alter. So alter table, which table? Students. What I want is, I wanted to delete this entire column. So I said drop ID. Just delete this column ID and create a new column, add a new column. This will be the name of that column. This will be the data type. This will be the added attributes on that. As you can see, the attributes all are same. Just the name I have changed. This is what these three lines mean. You can also confirm that on the left hand side. If I open the students table, you can see first name, last name, age, email, phone, city, and student ID. Student ID, not ID. To change column names, to change their data type, to change their any other attribute, we use alter. To add some column names or to or to simply delete some column names, we use alter. Okay. Let's add some data. Let's have some insert statements going. Then we'll show you update and delete as well. Right? Because now we have our tables. Let's dive into some DML. If you remember DML from last night, data manipulation language. This is what we are doing at work. I see the change of the column. Oh, thank you, Diane. Okay, by the way, this is how you can add comments into SQL simply by having two dashes or two hyphens at the beginning. As you can also see, the color of this line is a little bit bluish, signifying this is a comment. Won't have any effect. Well, the insert query is straightforward. Insert into and the table which you want to insert into. As you can see, I have put two parentheses here. Insert it to students. In here, you need to put in which columns or which fields you want to insert values. You want to insert data in. So I'll say I want to insert data in first name. Let me open the students table as well. There you go. I want to insert in first name. I want to insert in last name, age. I want to insert email, phone, city. I will not be inserting student ID, and I will be showing you that it will be populating on itself by itself. Strings have to have in quotes. If you have some programming backgrounds, I'm sure you almost know that. I'm writing random names, first name, last name. Numbers don't have to be in quotes. Last name, first name, last name, age. Oh, need email. Yes, the order matters. The order in which you have written the column names, the same order should be followed when you are writing the values. So first will be email. This is the email. Now we need the phone. That's the phone and the city. Yes, the order has to be maintained. So insert into table the columns. Thank you, Dan. And the values. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this works. Okay, insert didn't duplicate. Oh, no, I already have some data. Oh my god. Okay, so what is happening here is, let me show you the error. I forgot to delete the data. It is saying duplicate entry for email. It is giving me this error, duplicate entry. Why duplicate entry? Because when I created the table, I said that the email will be unique. That is, no two records can have the same email ID, and that is exactly what I did. So what is happening here is I have already added some data before this class, and I'm trying to add the same data. So let me do this. Let's add some other data. Let's try and add this. Oh, no. Let me put a redundancy. Okay, so it's a duplicate entry for phone. Well, in that case, let me have some other phone number. For the time being, this only. Fantastic. On the bottom, you can see one row affected. That means our data is inserted. Well, I want to see the data that is there in the students table. How can I do that? You need select statements for that. You need select statements, select or fetch, whatever you want to call it. Select statement. They are the easiest of them all. Let's start with a very simple one. Select star. Star is a wildcard or a shortcut denoting I want to see data for all the columns there is in this table. Select star from the table name students. Select star from students. That is it. When I execute this query, you will see a new box. There you go. And in this box, you can see we have so many data in there. Some data I have already put in before this class, and at the bottom you can see the data I put in for Diane. If you remember, I did not put any student ID. I did not put any student ID. Still, you can see a student ID 9 for Diane. And also, you can see the gap. There is no 7 and 8. Now, this is an interesting thing that you should know about primary keys. As you can see, there is no 7 and 8. What happened to 7 and 8? Well, the error happened to 7 and 8. If you remember, when before Diane, I put in some other details. That was a error because the email was conflicting. Well, what SQL did was it tried to put that data on student ID 7, but it failed. So all my codes are not executing after selecting. I'm not sure what you're trying to say here, Sarthak. How can we update the student's particular information in the table? Chandru, I'm getting to that. So I had two errors before I got the success. 7 and 8 were, the student ID 7 and 8 were lost in those errors. What this tells you? This tells you that student or primary key, it can have holes, it can have gaps, but you cannot have any student ID being repeated ever, or any primary key being repeated ever. This is something you should always understand about primary keys. Well, select star. What I did was select star. This is not always the best way to select data from the tables. Instead of select star, what we usually do is we write the column names, which columns we want to see in any particular table. So let me do this. Select first name, last name, uh, email from students. Let's execute this. You can now see that I only have the relevant information, the information when I what I want to see. When I'm clicking on keyboard cursor tab, keyboard cursor tab, what do you mean by keyboard cursor tab? Select keyboard, it is not executed. There must be an error at the bottom of your screen, Sarthak. Please check that. What happens when you miss any arguments like age? Is it an error? Yes, that will be an error. Chandru. Yes, Chandru, when we insert and we forget some uh, column name, but we put value for that, then it will be an error. Okay, I think you raised a good question. Let me do this. Well, some copy paste will not do us any harm. Now, as you can see, I have put in 6 column names. Now, MySQL will expect me to write 6 values. If, let's say, I forget to match the column count to the value count, then it will give me an error. Then it will give me an error. Let me show this. Let's say if I skip the phone number. Now the column count is not equal to the value count. Let me execute this. I don't know if you can even read my bottom screen. It says column count doesn't match value count at all. But there is an interesting thing here. Right now, the column count is 6 and the value count is fine. That is why MySQL is giving me an error. What if I remove the phone from the column count as well? And I've not put in. Okay. Right. In this case, what you will see against phone for Sarthak for this particular row is null. Let me first execute this. If you can see the green arrow, that means everything is fine. Now let me execute the select star or select star. Can you see the null against Sarthak under the phone number? Can you scroll up so that I can see where my code is getting error? Exactly which line do you want, Sarthak? Please tell me that. The value should be ordered or not? I don't understand, Chandru. What do you mean? Okay, let me insert some values in the other tables too. I think I already have some values. Let me just. I did select star from students. Let me do select star from enrollment, select star from students courses too. Let me execute select star from courses. Okay, so the course have nothing. So we'll add that and let's see for enrollment. Okay, the enrollment also has nothing. Oh, fantastic. Let me now add values. Let me now add data into courses and enrollment. Well, I'm doing some copy and paste. Please don't hate me for that. So we are inserting into courses. One course SQL for beginners, advanced Python, and web development. As you can see, SQL and web development have the same teacher. Oh, we have a teacher column now, so it's teacher. Teacher. If you run the select star from courses again, you will see we now have three columns or three rows. The courses, and let me add some data into enrollments too. Now, here is something that you should understand. I'm inserting data into enrollments. I'm inserting student ID, course ID, and enrollment date. Right? But these are the columns we created when we created this table. Student ID, course ID, enrollment date. Of course, enrollment ID is a primary key, will come automatically. And the thing to when inserting the values should be ordered as like the columns or not. Chandru, when you created the tables and when you are inserting the data, the orders need not be the way you ordered them when you created the tables. No, order has to be maintained of how you write the column names. The values should be according to that. These values, the order of these values has nothing to do with the order in which I wrote the fields when I created the table. If that answers your question. Okay, so the point that I'm trying to make here is this one, this one under student ID. This denotes the student Priya. Why? Because Priya has the student ID 1. How can I be sure of this? How can I be sure of this? I can be sure of this fact because student ID in the enrollments table is a foreign key which is coming from the students table. That is, one and in enrollments will point to the same thing in one in the students table. Now, this is what foreign key concepts linking to tables mean. One in enrollments means the student Priya, two means the student Rohan, three means Anjali, and let me add one more because we added one or two students now. So Deanne is at 9 and she's learning SQL for beginners and it's 9 2025, so let me do this 9 2025. Sorry, it's month now. 18. Oh, my bad. Actually, it has to be 9 only and 19. Okay, I'm getting an error. Oh, because we have a semicolon here. Sorry, we have a semicolon here. It should be a comma now. And I'm sure now that the 9 in this table will point to Diane Granger. And similarly, the 1 in the second column will mean SQL for beginners. The 3 here would mean web development. 2 would mean advanced Python. Let's try and execute this. You can see a green. Let me try and select star from do this select star from enrollment. In the enrollment table, well, the enrollment ID is 12356 auto incremented. Nothing to explain in that. Student ID 1 here means that this is the student having primary key 1 in the student table. Similarly, student ID 9 here means this is the student having primary key 9 in the student table. That particular student which has a ID 9, a primary key 9 in student table, has enrolled in course 1. Now, course 1 simply means the column which have primary key 1 in the courses table, which would be SQL for beginners. Guys, please let me know in the comments, are we getting this foreign key primary key concept or not? Okay, just a single yes. Okay. Okay, now you have to test it. Sir, is foreign key the key in the main table or the secondary table? Foreign key is the key in the secondary table. It points to the primary key, which is in the primary table or first table, however you want to call it. Okay, question for you guys. If anyone can write the answer in chat or write the query for this, it's a very simple question. I'm pasting the question and waiting for a minute. Let's see if you can find the answer to this. Okay, for this you will need to have David Lee. So select start from courses. Okay. So the question is this: I want to find all the courses which Mr. David Lee teaches. Can I get the SQL query for this, guys? It's a very simple query. It will start with select because we want to fetch or select data. Can anyone put the query for this in the chat section? Well, here it is. Select. Now you can write star or you can write course name teacher, whatever you want. Let's say course name teacher from the table name which was courses. Oh well, ठीक है. Now the statement required to only select courses where the teacher column had David Lee. This is what is known as a condition. Yes, fantastic, Jyotish, fantastic. Oh, fantastic, fine. Conditions in SQL are written with the help of the where clause. Where select this and this from this table according to this condition. Well, very well done. Very well done, Diane. Where teacher is equals to, and because it's a string, so it has to be in quotes. Now, whatever the name is, because the name is Mr. David Lee, let me copy this. If we execute it, so we have two courses which Mr. David Lee teach. These are SQL for beginners and web development. You can also optimize this query because we already know that the teacher name is Mr. David Lee. We don't, and you what you can do is you can remove the teacher name from the column here, and you can execute this. So now you will only have the courses. Fantastic, Ravi Kumar. Fantastic, sir. Now, this is the question. We have to change a student's city. We have a student who has the name Diane Granger. She has moved from Mumbai to New Delhi. The question is this: we have to change Diane Granger's city from Mumbai to New Delhi. If you want, you can try this. I'll wait for a few seconds, then I'll write the code. Very good, Abnish and Prafulla. Fantastic. Yes. Updating a record requires. Fantastic, Videsh Kumar. Fantastic. Update. A common mistake with update, which we see. No, Ravi. Alter is not used for data modification. No, it is update. Update. A very common mistake with update is we don't have any filler word with update. That is update to or update from. There is no such thing here. Update and directly the table name. So we update students. That is, we want to update this table. Now, what do we want to update? Which column do we want to update? We use the keyword set for that. Update students set. What to change and what to change it into. क्या change करना है और किसे change करना है. Set. Why we use set in between? As the English word set uh, simplifies, we are setting something. We are setting a column to something. We are what's the word? Assigning a value to a column name. The keyword set is used to assign a column a value. That is why we use set here. Set. What do we want to change? We want to change the city. We want to change it to New Delhi because it's a string, so it will come in quotes. Now we don't want to change city for all the students there are in students table. Let me show you the students table first. We only want to change the city for Diane Ranger in update. What is the difference between update and alter? Bharat, as I have told this twice, alter is to change the table's structure, while update is to change or modify the table's data. Sarthak, same answer. Just like in the previous query we used where, we'll use the same where clause here as well. Where. Now we can do it in two ways. We can do it in two ways. We can use the first name and last name property because the question asked it in such a way. We will use the first name and last name. However, if you know the student ID of that particular student, you can use the student ID as well. But we are doing it with the first name and last name. So, where first name is equals to Diane, we are using the keyword and here, and last name equals. Wait. Just like and, yes, we have or too, and the difference is just the same. With the difference as in English language between and or. Let's see if it works. Okay, wait, it didn't. Using C before, try to give it a bit of here. Huh? I use where clause, buddy. No, Diane. We don't have a column by the name student. We have two separate columns for first name and last name, so we have to do it like first name and last name only. We don't have a name or a student column which uh, has both the first name and the last name combined. Right? Okay, so preference is SQL editor. Okay. Change preferences if you want. This is the query. No problem. Right? You can do this with the help of the student ID as well if you know the student ID. If that is the case, you can do that like this as well. Update students set city equals New Delhi, where student ID equals 9. You can do this in both ways. If you know the student ID, do this. If you don't, do this. So there's a safe mode in SQL. We can't apply student name directly. So I might just disable the safe mode. What you need to do is you need to go to edit and preferences. Uh, Under SQL editor, the last option will be save updates. You need to uncheck that. Still, it is not executing. You need to what do you say? Restart your MySQL workbench. You need to reconnect. Sarthak, reconnect the MySQL workbench. It will work. Okay, so what do we have in courses? Select star from courses. Oh, sorry, we need enrollments actually. Hmm. Okay, Sarthak has no enrollment. Okay. Okay, so what we want to do now is for some reason Diane decides to drop out of the SQL for beginners course. So we need to delete or cancel, or let's try delete her enrollment. We need to delete her enrollment. Delete from table name, which is in this case is enrollments. For this, we must have one, the student ID of Diane and the course ID of the course whichever she is taking, which is SQL for beginners for our case. When we do this graphically, when you have a front end, let's say a vanilla HTML front end, a React or a Vue or whatever front end, we use drop downs for this, right? But what happens behind the scene, what queries executed when for that data to be actually deleted, that is what we are writing here. Okay, so please don't ask questions like how to find the ID. Well, you have to look that up. There is no graphical interface here where we can select drop downs and things like that. Where student ID is, now we know the student ID of Diane is 9. So where student ID is 9 and we are using and because it might be the case that Diane is enrolled in multiple courses. So we cannot simply say that delete from enrollments where student ID is 9. This will delete all the courses Diane is currently enrolled into. So we only want to remove Diane's SQL for beginners course, right? So that is why we need to also have the course ID. Well, because it is in front of me right now, the course ID for SQL for beginners is 1. So this will be the complete query. Okay, let's try it and run that. Let's see if we can execute delete statements. As you can see, we can execute delete statements also. If I again see the enrollments table, select star from enrollments, now there is no entry for Diane. So I want to save all my data, then how should I save to my desktop file? Satan, I told this in the beginning also. You can click it, you can click this floppy icon here, which saves the script to a file. What we have done so far, we have done CRUD, create, read or select, update, and delete. Yes, for update and delete, we only saw one or two queries, but that is fine for now. That should be able for you to practice on your own. What still remains is joins and then aggregate functions, order by, group by, and subqueries. Well, join was supposed to happen today because we are already running out of time, and join is something that you cannot understand in 5 minutes. So I'm moving the topic joins for tomorrow's lecture. What I will definitely say to you is do try and practice joins on your own. Joins are very simple, they're not much as complicated. So you have left join, you also have inner join, you also have, I believe, full join as well in MySQL. This is the question that I want you to implement using join. I want you to list all the students. I want you to create a list of all the students. And if those students are enrolled in any course, show the course name. If a student is not enrolled in any course, they should still appear in that list. That is, you have to list all the students, whosoever is there in the students table. And if that particular student has enrolled in a course, you have to have that course name as well. One more question. Well, this one should appear first actually. You have to create a report or list, whatever you want to call it. Let's call it list only. Create a list of showing create a list showing the full name of each enrolled student, and the name of the course that they are enrolled in. For this one, assuming a particular student has not enrolled in any course, then they won't show up. They will not show up, and for this one, each and every student will show up irrespective of whether they have enrolled in any course or not. So I will leave today's class on this note. Joins will study tomorrow. Don't worry, they won't take much of time. I hope you have liked today's class. I hope I was able to answer all your doubts and questions. I'll be hoping that we meet tomorrow as well. Tomorrow will be a deep dive into advanced SQL. Please don't miss tomorrow's class, otherwise all this effort will be in vain. Having said that, have a very good evening to each and every one of you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, everyone.